And it's almost been 5 years to think of it when the COVID pandemic hit the world and completely changed us as, people, those who knew the world. I mean, now it's before COVID and after COVID sort of an era. The human race underwent massive changes when it almost came to a complete halt when COVID disrupted our lives like very few things that the humanity has seen before. 5 years since the pandemic, there are a lot of things that people have picked up that have now become the new normal. The question that a lot of people, in fact, are also asking, is there a new fad? Are people more health conscious, post-COVID era, more focused on their health? Is it about, caring about your immunity? Yoga, exercise, diets, are they part of our lives, or are we living still the way we used to before COVID? Because, a lot was being said about your immunity, about how you did, your health, and people, those who had better health were able to possibly fight it better. So has that created a buzz around being healthy post-COVID? Joining me at this moment in this series of discussions, ladies and gentlemen, that we'll keep having on different topics every single day on how COVID, in fact, has changed our lives. Ira Trivedi, yoga acharya and author. Ira, thank you for joining us at this moment. Let me start by asking you, is there more consciousness in the way people talk about or at least have conversations around health post-COVID? It doesn't matter what your age is. People do want to stay fit. They think immunity matters. Has that also, in a way, percolated to you and the kind of people that you work with?
Absolutely. I can talk from a yoga perspective. And I definitely see a huge rise in awareness. There is a huge number of people who also not only have awareness, but because everything went online during COVID, a lot of people got easy access. So they no longer need to travel somewhere now to get access to yoga or fitness. They understand that they can do all of this from their homes. So that has also been a major game changer. So awareness is one thing, but after awareness, there has to come actual practice. And that actual practice, when it became online, it raised huge amounts of accessibility. We see that in our yoga world, in our yoga business. Our classes are flourishing. People who never thought they could do yoga before started during COVID. They came to our online studio and they started practicing and they continue to practice. So I definitely feel that awareness, but also the practice afterwards, all of that changed. It was a game changer because of COVID.
Ira, may I then ask you, because, for everybody, it was something that they were experiencing for the first time. For you, this whole idea of online classes, because yoga in a way is also a self-discovery. People like being, in front of their guru and try and learn it. It's quite personal for a lot of people. This whole idea of online classes, being away, thousands of miles away from you and still being able to, in fact, inculcate it. How challenging was that?
It was actually not challenging at all, especially for yoga, because as you yourself said, that yoga is self-discovery. It is also self-practice. So traditionally, yoga was done by yogis alone in caves. They got some instruction from their guru, and then they went off into the caves and practiced. So here, because yoga is a self-practice, it actually really helped that you're in your home, you're by yourself. So it's a self-practice, but you also get that guidance online because you're not able to do it alone. You definitely need guidance. So for yoga in particular, it really worked. For now, things like gym, it didn't work as well because in the gym, you need machines, you need equipment. You often need trainers to help you lift that heavy equipment. If you don't have personal guidance, then it may not be safe. But for yoga in particular, where no equipment is required, it's just you and your mat. For that practice, online yoga really worked. In fact, I believe that online yoga was like a huge shift in the history of yoga. It was like a major leap, not only for yogas, but also for yoga teachers. They suddenly had access to tons of students online. So this also helped the yoga business. So more people became teachers, more people started practicing, more awareness was raised. So it was a very, very positive cycle that happened. And this was all because of COVID. So I really feel that what COVID did is that COVID brought fitness online. And people who had no access to fitness, they did not have access to studios, they lived in faraway places. Now that's happening in urban cities, right? All urban cities, whether it's Mumbai, whether it's Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, they're all expanding. And we see in the outskirts, little cities are rising with high rises, office buildings, because they're usually in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So in these kinds of places, we often don't have fitness facilities. We don't have yoga studios. We don't have gyms. So we don't have any way of actually practicing. So because of online fitness, that changed. Now every single person has access to yoga. There are no excuses. And I've seen this literally pre and post COVID. Pre-COVID, when someone came to me and said, I really want to practice yoga. There's no yoga studio close to me. I didn't know what to tell them.
Yeah.
Now, nobody even says that anymore, that, oh, where should I go practice yoga? People know that there's multitudes of online resources. I'll just say that, hey, come online, come to our online yoga studio.
Yeah.
That is as good practicing in a class as well.
Also, one aspect of being fit, whether it is through yoga, working out, whatever you are doing, possibly there was much more awareness of how exercising, helps you to keep your mind sound, It's just not about being physically fit, but also helping you deal with the anxiety, keeping your mind in top-notch situation. I'm sure with your practice also, a lot of people would have come and said, we just want to meditate or something like that because it helps. There was a lot of anxiety during the COVID time, post-COVID, this whole new exercise, your inclination towards exercising, yoga, other things have also helped people mentally, isn't it?
Absolutely. In fact, breathing, pranayam, that was a huge one, right? Before yoga, people said, oh, pranayam, boring hai, zarurat nahi hai, kya ho raha hai? But after COVID, there was so much awareness about pranayam. The practice of pranayam, breathing, breath work, it really, really, really rose. People understood how important lung strength is. And that is as pertinent today because cities are becoming more polluted. So people understand that, hey, this fitness of our lungs is so important. So pranayam and the awareness that there was for breathing was a huge, major game changer, like really, really amazing. And of course, mental health. That was a major, major topic of conversation during COVID. People were alone, they were estranged, and so there was no community support except for maybe online, but there was no physical community support. People were stuck, and so it became really important. So mental health became a really serious topic of conversation. Pranayam and meditation became so important. And the best part is that lots of teachers rose to the occasion. I remember I was one of the first people to get online and to use Zoom because, Zoom no one knew what Zoom was.
Yeah.
And now it's like really prevalent. Everyone knows what Zoom is. So I remember learning Zoom, training my teachers how to use Zoom, doing training sessions. And hey, how do we teach yoga on Zoom? How do we use Zoom for teaching online? So that was like a major thing. We had to learn Zoom and understand how to teach on Zoom. And now it's like the norm, teaching online and using Gmeet or Zoom is just the norm. So there was no Gmeet during COVID, I remember.
Yeah.
Even Gmeet came later. And all of these platforms made it just really easy for people to then come online to teach. And actually, as I said earlier, pre-COVID, teachers didn't have a place to teach. I remember teachers used to come to me and say, I am a yoga teacher, but where can I get an opportunity?
Okay.
I don't know where to teach. Now, post-COVID, every single person can just open their own yoga studio, their own online yoga studio.
Absolutely.
They use social media channels to promote themselves. And I think it's a great thing because that allows people to understand that, hey, I can use fitness, I can use yoga,
Yes.
I can use Pilates, I can use strength training. I can use that as my profession. I can earn an income. And that encourages people to then become trainers. And if there are more trainers, then there's more access.
Absolutely.
That's also wonderful. Also, keeping in mind that online portals are more economical because we don't have to pay rent anymore.
Yes,
So it becomes cheaper for students to practice. You don't have to pay a hefty fee now for online access. You can pay 1,000 rupees a month, maybe just 100 rupees per class.
Absolutely.
Something like that, and get access to a wonderful class.
You're right, and COVID has been the biggest disruptor, and we can't forget the horrible scenes that people and the suffering that people went through. But it has also changed lives of people and humanity in many ways. Technology being infused, and as Ida was telling us, online fitness, of course, has changed the game for a lot of people with its access, in fact, coming down, across everywhere. Thank you so much, Ida Trivedi, for speaking to us at this moment. We'll keep having these conversations, ladies and gentlemen, of how after 5 years, things which have completely been changed, or the new things that have been introduced to us, are only in the post-pandemic era.